Hey everyone, Leo with the Dreaming Tree, and welcome to the assembly video for our gift card box. Chances are you are going to give a gift card this upcoming holiday, and we've got a very simple and quick freebie for you. For those of you that have a Cricut, Silhouette, a Brother ScanNCut, this is actually one of our free files, so you can download it completely free and try out our files. You'll see here in front of me that I have the two main parts of the box. Okay, we've got the lid and we've got the bottom. I've already pre-folded everything. Now this project, as well as most of our projects for the last 2 or 3, actually maybe almost 4 years, come with solid score lines. So I opted to use my Cricut Maker to create solid score lines. You also have the perforated versions in case your machine doesn't support solid score lines. Again, everything is already folded at the score marks. And we're going to begin by putting glue on these little trapezoid shaped tabs. And we're going to begin gluing them to the corresponding neighbor. Now I like to take my finger and rub that and kind of dab that glue out to the very edges of each of the tabs just to get good coverage. I'm going to tuck that in behind the adjacent wall here and press and hold. Give it just a few seconds. Now, if this is your first time working with paper and glue, my biggest tip for you is to use glue sparsely. You don't want to go overboard with the glue because you're going to be sitting there waiting for that glue to dry for ages. Just put on just as much as you need to get a nice thin layer of glue on each of the tabs. Again, I like to use my finger to kind of dab it out. Spread it out all the way to the very edge of the tab. We'll tuck that in behind the neighboring wall here and press and hold until it's fully set, and that's looking really good. Okay, that just leaves 2 tabs here, and I'm going to do one at a time because I feel that I do my best work when I kind of can focus on one thing at a time. It's not to say that I can't do both, but most of these freebies are geared towards beginners, and that's kind of why I want to make sure that I cover all of the basics. Okay, so just like we did with the last 2, we're going to tuck that behind this wall, press that tab up against this section here, right where my thumb is, and just hold that in place for a moment, and that just leaves one last tab. And I've mentioned this many times. If you are unable to keep up with me, well, for one, you can pause. But also, part of it could be because you're waiting much longer for your glue to dry than I am. Okay, so I've got glue on that last tab. I'm going to tuck that right behind this wall here and press and hold. Okay, so this is the base of our little box, and this piece here, okay, I've already pre-folded this as well, and what we're going to do is we're just going to put glue on these little triangular tabs. One little dot should be plenty, and again I'm going to spread that glue out, tuck it behind this little neighboring wall, and press that tab up against the inside of it, and just hold that for a second. And as you can imagine here, we've got 3 more tabs. We're going to do the same exact thing to those 3 tabs, and this is the little well, we call it a little shelf that is actually going to hold our gift card, so it's not just wobbling around in there. Very simple little project, very quick, about, well, this isn't even a full piece of paper, the white. That is probably about a half a sheet of paper, roughly. Let me see here, about 3/4 of a sheet of paper. Okay, but 3/4 of a sheet of paper, and then you've got maybe 1/3 of a sheet of paper with this. You can make yourself a beautiful box for probably much less than the cost at like a Hallmark or wherever you decide to get it, especially if you factor in the trip to the store. It's an excellent reason to get into the studio or into your craft room and put together something, even if it's kind of small like this. Sometimes this is all you need to kind of get you into the groove to create other beautiful things. Okay, so I've got the last one here, holding that tab in place right behind this wall. And now you can see here, it's going to fit right in there beautifully. Might have to put it in like that. And just press that down all the way. Okay, there you have it. And let me see here. So don't forget to kind of lift these up a little bit so that it's easier to get the card in there. But you can see how nicely that fits, and you can kind of press that down later once it's in place to kind of hold it in place, and you can see it's nice and secure. Okay, so now we need to obviously put a lid on it, and we've got these pieces here, and I've opted to do a kind of see-through window on this one. So we're going to take a piece of acetate. If you don't have acetate, you can find the little cover that came with your cutting machine mat. You probably have an old one laying around. You can pop that right onto another mat and cut that instead of going out and buying some acetate. So we're going to put some glue around. This is the inside, this is the outside, and we're going to put some glue right around that little cutout and pop this right into place. You don't want to spread it like butter. You just want to kind of push this down so that none of this glue makes its way into the visible area of this little window here. We want it nice and clean, okay? And also, we have this piece here. This is just kind of a little liner that we're going to put on top of this to hide the glue, and this will also kind of keep it more secure as well. Now, also, a lot of alsos here. This piece here, I'll explain that in just a minute. But if you want to omit this piece, okay, and just kind of make it plain without putting a decorative piece on the top, you can just put the acetate on like I am right now and give it as is. You don't need to put that decorative piece on the front if you don't want. It is a very nice touch, and I do recommend it. But if you want to leave it off, you have that option because we're putting the acetate piece on the inside and covering it up nicely so it looks nice and clean. Okay, so here's what I was referring to. This piece here, this is our little decorative piece. It's going to go right on the front, perfectly flush with that little cutout. Okay, so I guess what I was saying is you can omit this piece, just leave it blank and plain on the top, but still include your acetate and hide it nicely with that little liner. Okay, but we're opting for a nice seasonal feel with this one. So we're going to put some glue on the back of this and just line it up with that existing cutout and press down. Okay, you can see that kind of catching some of the light. Okay. Now this piece of paper that I put on there, this is not your typical 80-pound test. It's probably more like 120. It's almost like chipboard. So I'm going to be a little more patient with this and let it dry. And then all that's left to do is close this up, very similar to how we put together the bottom of the box. We're going to begin by putting glue on one of these tabs. Again, I'm going to take that glue and just run it out to the very edge of the tab. I have a little sponge underneath my desk that I wipe my finger off of, or off on, so that I don't continue building glue up on my finger, because that can get really sticky really quick. If you want, rather than using your finger, you can use a little paintbrush or a piece of paper to spread it out. I prefer my finger. I don't ever have to reach for it. It's always there. And I feel like I have more control with my finger because I can feel every little detail, thanks to the wonderful nervous system that I have in my body. There we go. We'll take that and tuck that behind this wall, line it up nicely, and press and hold. Okay, very simple little project. You could really do a lot of different things with this if you wanted, you know, as far as designs. If you have specific paper for maybe something that has a brand name. I know there's some Disney stuff out there. I don't know if they've gone and made, you know, scrapbook paper for, especially for the younger generation, you know, your Fortnites and your TikToks and all that stuff. I don't know if they have any specialty paper for that, but if they do, you can always cut that out and really personalize it for your demographic, whatever age it may be. Okay, so onto the third tab here. Again, you can see how quickly this is going for me. It's because the coverage that I have here with my glue is very thin, but very precise at the same time. And that also helps prevent glue from seeping out onto other areas that you don't want it to seep out onto. Keeping it exactly where we want it, and everything looks nice and crisp, almost as if it was printed on a 3D printer. You being that 3D printer. Okay, so there we go. Pop that right on. Should fit beautifully. That's actually a really cool card to have in there because of the colors. And then if you want, you can take some nice ribbon and just kind of wrap it up like that and tie a little bow at the top. Pop it right up here. I don't want to hide the gift card, and I don't want it up here, so I'm just going to tie a little bow right up at the top. And I may use a different ribbon, but I just wanted to show you how easy it is to make that really pretty. And decide how long you want the loops on the bow. I'd say that looks pretty good. And then maybe just leave a little bit of that tail and cut it off equidistant on both sides, like right about there. But that's it. That's all it takes to put together a beautiful little gift card box to make the occasion a little more special. 'Cause sometimes they just seem so, well, plastic. And this will give your gift a nice DIY touch. So if you enjoyed this project and the video, please take a moment and hit that subscribe button. You can see there on this side of my body, the left side there, we've got 43,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button, also hit the bell so that you get notifications anytime we release a new product. So anyway, happy gift giving and gift making. I still got to get going on that. I haven't even started, and from what I've been hearing, that is not a good thing. But either way, I look forward to crafting with you soon. Hey, thanks for crafting along with me. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check out some of our other videos, and also please consider hitting that subscribe button. And don't forget to visit our site and check out our free SVG section, where we have over 140 free SVG files complete with assembly videos. I look forward to crafting with you soon.